Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back again with the next video. Um, Kind of getting some traction now. This is video number three. So, three. So, a lot to talk about. Just always coming up with some new things to discuss. Just so much going on that, you know, like, there's never like a loss of topics. And having my coffee, it might sound a little sluggish, but just the afternoon picked me up. Second cup of the day for me. I only do two, morning and afternoon. Um, yeah, so it's summer of 2025, and you're walking around. You're probably noticing a lot of class of 2025 signs. A lot of graduations happening right now, high school and college. So everybody's kind of excited. It's an exciting time for our youth, for our young adults. Who are entering the next level, either that's higher education or the job market. Um, and it's also kind of like a it's also kind of like a sad time too. Sad time for parents, right? Just your little ones like taking the next step. But um, I don't know if I'm not a parent, but I'm sure parents are kind of seeing what's going on right now with the economy, with the world, and a lot of latest news articles and videos and whatnot are discussing how hard pretty much Gen Z graduates have it right now with the job market. It's terrible. I mean, I'll give you my example alone. I'm 35 and I work in tech. I'm getting the pink slip here soon myself, and you know, just trying to come up with a plan. But I can only imagine how it might be for the younger ones. You know, I went to college a little bit late, but when I graduated, there was still a decent market, right? 2017, 2018. But now, man, it's not easy. So, just want to discuss like what they're saying, what's going on, and you guys probably already know this, but it's always nice to kind of like, you know, hear it that other people on YouTube or other people in general around the country are, you know, understand what's going on too. We don't talk about it maybe as much, but we know we can feel we can feel it as well. So the labor market deterioration is one big factor. Q1 2025 is already showing noticeable decline in job opportunities. May May 2025 had about 140K jobs were added to the jobs market, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Again, it goes back to everything I mentioned in the previous videos. These stats, we have to really kind of take this information with like a grain of salt, right? Because it's just like when you look at outside and you see what's going on, you talk to people, it's like a complete, like, not completely opposite of what we're hearing in the news and from these experts and our leadership, but it doesn't really, there's a lot of contradiction there between the two messages. So I don't know about that, but again, just basing off of data that we can find online, uh, you know, we added that many jobs in May, and then the recent grads who were like between, we're talking about college right now, 22 to 27 in age, their unemployment is hovering around 5.8 to 6%. So out of the 4.2, that number that they came up with somehow, 5.8 to 6% of that are new grads. Doesn't seem like a lot, right? But I don't know. I think we'll see how that number changes over the course of next few months. Don't forget they just graduated, so let's see. Unless we do a complete turnaround and the economy starts to somehow get better, that number is probably going to rise. That's since 2021. It's the highest it's been since 2021, right? And what was going on in 2021? A pandemic. So the fact that we have a post-pandemic economy now having showing similar unemployment numbers with the youth that we saw at that time. It's kind of like it's kind of scary. It's kind of something to kind of look at and kind of decipher. Like, all right, that was a bad economy because of a forced recession because of a pandemic. What's going on now, right? Recession, basically. But there's another video for that you guys can watch, and we'll talk more about that as things come, as we get the latest news and whatnot, breaking news. AI displacement's a big conversation. I talked about this in my first video with Talks with Bubban, but entry level jobs are being taken over by AI, especially like admin and tech roles. I work in tech. I see it happening. I was like a junior project manager, which like I was kind of just helping the PMs with stuff in the back end. So AI is definitely a go getter for my job. Right, the AI can definitely do my job, and yeah, it's kind of crazy because we saw a lot of a lot of HR software now is using AI as well, AI implementation, which is cool, I guess, in the sense of like where not cool actually. I mean, you're taking over HR roles, which some people might be like, oh great, like fuck HR, right? Excuse my language. Screw HR, but the software is still being worked on, so it can miss a lot of great candidates, right? So I mean, there's so many problems that show up with this AI implementation that we'll see how that goes as well. But that's another factor to why the class of 2025 is going to have a problem finding work. It's hard for the new grads. Jobs, again, wanting the one, a lot of YouTubers talk about this as well, wanting the 1 to 3 years experience, 1 to 5 years experience for even entry level jobs. Especially now the entry level jobs are going to be taken over by AI. Where are you going to get that experience from? Where? Like there's nowhere to get that experience, right? The tech slowdown. I mean, when I switched over from environmental services work to IT tech in 2021, I was a contractor with a big company. That's like, oh, everybody's got to get into tech, post pandemic, work from home, remote, everything was like the talk of the town. And the a lot of people I think saw that, and they were like, a lot of young people at the time were like, hey, I'm going to go to school for this, right? Tech seems like a really good, stable field to go into. They big tech firms and all that were pumping so much money into the economy, overhiring basically, that, I mean, I don't know, I'm thinking back, AI wasn't really a discussion. AI really started becoming a discussion after around middle end of 2022, probably middle of 2022, with introduction of open source AIs like models like ChatGPT, or Midjourney, right? I still use Midjourney here and there for fun, but I mean now, this stuff is evolving so fast that there's all kinds of new things, and yeah, it went from that to where we are now. It's only been end of 2022, let's say beginning of 2023, 2.5 years. It's grown look at how it's grown exponentially in 2.5 years. You can only imagine, if all these companies pump all this money into this, how it'll grow in the next 5, right? So, and then there's another factor of employers don't want to train due to economic uncertainty. So they're afraid of businesses are prepping for a recession basically, and they don't. This is a factor as well, right? They don't want to invest in something until they see some sort of like light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, economically speaking. Tariffs and inflation obviously are reducing business hiring. Tariffs and inflation are reducing business expansion as well, right? High interest rates affect that as well, right? We're still hovering in some high interest rate, in the realm of high interest rates. So that's another component as well, that why we're probably just not. Yeah, you might see job listings, but are they really hiring? We don't know, right? I mean, they might have to do that because they have to meet some sort of state or federal law. This stuff is done so bad, dude. Like, there's no like accountability for this. And then, there's just the discussion of the emotional toll that is taken, and the economic toll that this is going to have, right? The toll on the economy, I should say, that this is going to take. So grads are anxious, they're depressed, mental health issues are starting to like rise. They're trying to pay for a lot of things, like even their student loans and stuff. They have to still take care of that. They have to, if they're not bringing money in, and they're young adults now, so they should be functioning as young adults. They still have to pay for the things that they have to pay, unless mommy and daddy's still paying for the bills, which for a lot of people that is the case, but not everybody. Buy now, pay later services are popping up, and I am not a fan of those. You know, just not a good indicator of a good economy, good functioning economy, basically. Delayed life plans, right? People always complaining, hey, the next generation doesn't want to have kids, they're lazy, they're entitled. It's like, well, you see what's going on, right? Like, who has the money, time, energy to bring children into this world that we've created for them? They're not going to look at that. They're just trying to survive. They're trying to live somewhat of comfortable American life with the little fruits that they're being given at this point, right? So the tree is not producing enough fruit for them. Um, Another way to put it. So delaying life plans, and then obviously low unemployment is low economic momentum, or the lack of economic momentum reduces innovation, right? How's our country gonna how's our country gonna expand? Meaning in the sense of like, how's it gonna uh, you know growth when it comes to science? How are we gonna like have growth when it comes to like technology in that sense? So it's kind of weird how, in order for this technology that we're implementing to grow, we need people in there to do the work as well to grow it. So that's kind of like, I don't know if I want to call it a catch-22 type of situation. I don't know what to call it, but that thought just came to my mind. I don't know. I can't put it into words because I would have to sit down and actually write this out. But yeah, that's something to consider as well. Like, this technology still needs somebody. It's working itself out as well. Like AI is growing AI, but there's still, computer science and science involved there that still needs a human component. Um, we talked about a lot here. Just to kind of wrap it up again, it's graduation season. I I really don't like what I'm seeing for our recent grads. That what's out there, labor market is deteriorating. The numbers are already showing that there's noticeable decline in job opportunities. Unemployment for the youth is as high as it was during a pandemic. Right now, we're not in a pandemic. We're not in a recession of that sort. And AI displacement, big conversation, big topic, taking a lot of the jobs. Harder for new grads in general. Jobs wanting experience. The tech slowdown factors in as well, and employers just kind of holding back because they're a little bit uncertain about the future, and they don't want to invest in anything if they're uncertain about the economic future. So it's almost like, let me just save what I have instead of growing it, right? It's like, all right, I have fruit. If I can grow more fruit, or I can just like try to save what I have. I don't know. I can't think of an analogy there, but yeah. So um, as far as offering advice, it's last couple of things to discuss. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm seeing online the same like repeat, rinse and recycle advice that I've received back then. Like, oh, if you're not getting a job, you got to tailor your resume to the thing. I don't know. With how we just talked about how HR software and all this stuff, yeah, it might help. But then there's the discussion of like, all right, like if a good amount of these businesses are just posting these jobs because they have to meet some sort of state or federal law requirement, or they're just seeing what's out there or what have you. I don't know. It could be many reasons. Then it's just all futile, right? Meaning that these jobs don't even exist, the ones that they're applying to, or they've hired internally, or what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to make one person do three people's jobs, and that's including AI, right? Like putting AI in there so that it's one person is capable of potentially doing three people's jobs. So there's that's happening, right? Whether you want to believe it or not. Um, Other advice, man, I don't know. Like, if mom and dad could help, please accept their help. Put your ego aside. Be humble. If that's an issue, work together with other young people. Maybe I've heard a little bit about young people actually getting together now and pooling their resources together to buy property together, multifamily homes, maybe like a mother-daughter house type of situation. That's not a bad idea, actually. Um, and Yeah, again, just while we kind of go through this process and of how the economy is going to be in the next 1 or 2 years, if things are tough, then yeah, like I mentioned in my previous video as well, just budget, watch those subscriptions, watch where your money's going, cut down on things you don't need until you have more income coming in. Just be a little strict with that. It's not the ideal life, I know. It's not the life that you guys probably wanted upon graduation, but this is the reality, man. So yeah, we'll discuss more of these things as they come. So stay tuned for all that, and have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you, and also like and subscribe.